So here's the dash out. That's the top half. Bottom half's down the back. Looks like a big mangled mess, but might be able to do something with it. Just checking this out. It doesn't look too bad. I think like the handbrake. This is the foot brake for the handbrake. I wouldn't mind making it work again. I don't think you need a handbrake, and because this is automatic, you can just put it in park and keep it running. When it's manual, if you want to leave it running, you got to put a brick under the tyre. So yeah, I don't know what they do with handbrakes. They probably don't care. Probably have it or not, whatever. As it's only like a street car. So yeah, still got to get that aircon condenser out. Look at it, all flaky. I think it's got a screw in the front of it somewhere. And that's the speedo cable, speedo drive, which just pulled out of the box. So it's just in there because it's on the clips. This is the way the column mounts, like this on this clamp thing. And then it bolts in here where it's all a bit mangled to the big plate, the whole pedal box assembly. Yeah, which will have to be reused. I mean, it's all pretty beefcake, so it'll be okay. Don't know what you do with the brakes. Like I don't really want to run a booster. I just want manual brakes. Oh yeah, through those holes. Okay. Yeah, right. So you just bolt it through those holes. Cool. So you don't need the top ones. Will just go through for strength. Put some big washers on them or something, and yeah, cool. What I'd like to do is get this. If that's original, I'll take it in and get it rebuilt. They'll probably spin out when they go inside and all the springs aren't springy. I'll take it in and see what they say. You get a stainless steel sleeve and they get a lifetime warranty. There's a really good place here in Perth. Perth Brake Parts. I go there all the time with stuff. Well, all the time. I go there when I can afford it. But rather than buy a China one, I go there because places like that aren't around forever, and I feel like spoilt sometimes. But if you own one of these cars, or any car at all really, this would be good for like if you've got a really nice one and you want to make sure you're looking after it, like pull the kick panels out and clean out in there. You know, like this is good. It's still good. But you could have a really nice one and it's just a cesspool in there of rust, and you wouldn't even know it. You know, like in there. Pull your kick panels out and get in there and clean out all the muck. You never know what you'll find. You're pretty much guaranteed to find some leaves and something, because it all goes down in there, and when the car's all together, and sometimes they're not even painted in here. Now they've been blasted and dipped and all that, and you know, the stuff could still be in there just eating your car, and it looks pretty on the outside. Car's rust from the inside out. Yeah, still going, the motor's still there. Been avoiding it for some reason. I want to yank that out and have it all prepped for the Windsor, and yank the Windsor out, but I've got to go eat lunch. I'm running out of steam here. Go eat lunch, have a drink of water. Laying off drinking alcohol because I don't need it. I had a few drinks with a mate last night and I'm feeling it today, like I didn't need to do that. I would have been better off just going to bed early. But I'm still smashing it, still ripping the bolts out. This one here, it was going to break, so I backed off and made space and cleaned it and oiled it. And I can be liberal with the oil, because what I've done is filled this spray bottle up with automatic trans fluid. So I'm just hammering it on there and flooding the joint. It's and it works. It's better to do it than not, because I tried a few and I got a few out and I thought, oh, I don't even need it, just do it dry. But definitely, like here for instance, where I snapped those door ones, I could have come in on this side. I could have come in the inside here and got the wire brush, clean all the muck off, and hose it with the auto trans fluid. And then if it feels like it's going to break, you just go back in again, get the oil, try to get the oil in there. But yeah, most of the time, like this one, I blindly sprayed it from the back, like just squirting it in there, put my finger in there or whatever, and then look how dry it is. Like that's just that instance. And I whip these out with the gun. Like I did them with the spanner first, or the ratchet first, and made sure they weren't going to break. And then I was confident with these ones. These ones were nice. Like they're up here. All the ones that are up here were all nice. Like I didn't lube any of these even. They came out easy. I did them all by hand. These ones. Yeah, all these. I'll take all these tabs out. They don't need to be there. But that's how they are. Tab there. Tab there. One over there. Throttle's still there. So it must have sat like that. And then up that square hole there. And I think it's fine. It's just the there's probably nylon bushes in here that have gone up in flames. Look how rugged it is in here. Looking like it's that whoever put that speaker in just and it would have been a nice car, but to do that, just to get a speaker in, I mean really, just put it somewhere else. Just whip it up under the dash with some glue on it. Anything. Yeah, get the axe out to put a bloody speaker in. But, I don't want to be a whinger. That's my whinge. Whinge over. There's the aircon bolt, right there. That guy. The big panel washer on it. There's one, that one. Oh yeah, and I thought about this, I think it's an MSD. I think it's a Mallard, I think it's an MSD. But I'm not sure, it's just thoughts. This whole video thing's just thoughts. Like I don't even know what I'm doing really, I'm just getting into it. And I'm fully into it. Electronic regulator. That's for the so that's the external reg for the old alternator, I think. Won't need that. Just run internal reg. Yeah, that's it. Another long-winded one. Not really. How long is it? Oh, 9:25. I'll keep them at 10 minutes. Well, it just gets boring and I'm wasting my time doing it. But it's going to be good. 4V one day. For now, there'll be little piddly Windsor in there for a little while. One of these ports. Look at that for a shot. Straight in there. Oh, that would work. You know it would work. work at high RPM. I know they put tongues in them and all that sort of stuff, but where this car's going, it's going to go for maximum RPM, maximum horsepower with whatever I've got. So yeah, 411s and a small tyre, like a 28-inch tyre, not a, you know, just something that will fit. Not tubbing it, I'm not cutting it. I don't think I need to. I think it'll hook up. It'll be light, and I'll run a full slick as well. I've bought slicks in the past. They were 28-inch tall, like diameter on the outside, like outside diameter, and they were 8.5 14s, and I put them on some old school 14s and polished them up. They look wicked, and they were delivered for $200 each. They came from over east. I don't think you can get them anymore. I've seen them in the States, but I don't think they're not on eBay anyway. So, and these Magnums, this one here is bent, so I might look into it, see how bent it is. I might be able to run it. Look at these. These are old 255s. These things will turn to dust. I don't think they'll hook up. Who knows? Low power, automatic. Should just be able to max them out. Like once you're rolling, it'll probably, if you go wide open, it will probably spin them with the gearing. But the dullness of an auto is so good for just getting maximum speed. And so the only two times I've ever been racing at the drags, they were both Clevelands. They were both manual. First one was a 351, the second one was a 302. And I was pretty violent with it, like dropping the clutch and everything, and I had those slicks on and I didn't lose traction at all. I did a big burnout and I took off, and didn't spin the wheel at all. It just hooked up and took off. That was the low power, but thinking back to it, I'm thinking, what am I doing with my life? Like, I got to go back. I got to get back to it, because it was the first one, the XW. It was XW with a XA 2V 351 in it, top loader, 9-inch locked mini spooled 411s with a 28 spline axles, the little toothpick axles which this has got. And it was a great day, just chatting with everybody. That's what was good about it. Everyone that was there, and chatting with all the old guys, and like, there was legendary cars there. So that's where this is headed. It's going to the nostalgia drags in Perth, whenever it is. I think it's been this year. I think it's around my birthday, around November, but I have to look into it. Can't even remember. First time I went was 2006. It's 2023 now. And the second time I went was a couple of years after that. It's probably 08 or something. And I kind of failed. The panel van kind of failed. I blew the head gaskets, and I had trouble getting it through spec. The first year I went, the guy loved it and didn't even really look at it. The second year he made me tape up the firewall. My dad had to come down and give me the door trims, and I just like smashed the door trims on it, and he let me through. But it was a drama, and it was a fail really the second time. So that's what you get, isn't it? If you have a go, sometimes you win, sometimes you fail. But the way they do it with the bracket racing, or you dial in your time, if you're consistent, you can win. All you got to do is dial in the correct time and just nail it every time. An automatic car, a slow automatic car, is probably your best chance. And you just take off and see what it does, and then dial that in and do the same over and over and over. If nothing goes wrong, you'll win. Well, as long as you don't red light. And I was told by an old drag racing mate that he had a Monaro in the 70s with a small block, like small block in it, Chevy. He said as soon as that last amber light lights up, drop the clutch, because by the time you get rolling, the green light will be on. So I did that, and I got a 0.0006, I think, reaction time. And if you get all zeros, they give you $500. They did it that time anyway. So it was close, but I broke out. Both times I went was a failure, because I broke out. In the X-Dub, I dialed in 14.2 because I didn't think it'd be faster than a HO, but because I had slicks and I didn't run out of petrol in the carburetor, and I didn't do a big burnout, and I just took off and went. I did a flat 14, so I broke out. So that was it. I was happy because it didn't break anything. The car was running perfectly, like I drove it onto the trailer. But then when I got it home, I had big ambitions of rebuilding it with heaps of power and yada yada, and wow, I was too young and stupid. I pulled the distributor out and I dropped the pencil drive into the sump. So I was like, oh, so I pulled the sump off, got the pencil drive out, and the distributor I had didn't fit, like it had been angle grinded and whatever, and so I finally got it to fit, and then the whole mess of putting a solid cam in it and the big heads and roller rockers and everything, I was disheartened. And I looked at the bottom end and it needed to be done, and I was like, oh, and I'd sort of blown the budget on all the top end stuff. So I used parts and put it in an XB ute with a stock 302 in it, and it went well. I've seen it up for sale recently, and the guy stripped all the parts out of it, and he wanted $1 million for the thing, and it was, I sold it for $4,000 with licensed, with a 9-inch in it and everything. So he's trying to get big bucks for it all stripped, not regoed. But things change, don't they? I don't care about any of that now because I got this. So another rant, but that's my story from drag racing in Cleveland. It's failure up to this point, but I'm going to try to do a bit smarter this time and not bite off more than I can chew, and just go for a putt. As long as it can spin the wheels and I can take off, I'll be happy.